I want to introduce our guest tonight is Michelle Phale. She is a program coordinator for Alzheimer's Association of Michigan, and we're very pleased to have her here join us on Navigate Home. So Michelle, I'm going to send it to you to share your screen, and I'm going to mute myself. A wonderful thing, and sometimes it cannot. I want to introduce our guest.
I'm still hearing an echo.
She is
okay. I think that should be good. Okay. Let me just get my screen up on here. Okay, here we go then. Well, as Valerie said, my name is Michelle, and I am with the Alzheimer's Association. And I am just going to review some of our services that we offer today. I want to review some of our programs. And just to give a general overview of the association, I know everybody who's part of this group works with people in some way, often with seniors. So I hope you can pass along this information. And then at the end, if we have some time, we can try to get to some questions too. So just a brief overview, the Alzheimer's or Alzheimer's disease, we all know it has a tremendous impact physically, emotionally, financially. The cost of Alzheimer's is expected to reach about $1.1 trillion by 2050, and that's because the baby boom generation is getting older, and we know that age is the greatest risk factor for developing Alzheimer's disease. It is the sixth leading cause of death too, so definitely a prevalent issue. But Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia don't just affect those who actually have the disease. It affects those who are caring for those individuals. We know that some people who are caregivers have to leave work early, come in late, or even quit their job altogether because of their caregiving responsibilities. And of course, that has a significant impact on the caregiver's health, but also can have a financial impact. So this is why the Alzheimer's Association is here. I am from the Michigan chapter, but we are a nationwide organization with chapters throughout the country. So our vision is just a world without Alzheimer's and other dementia. And we do this, or we try to achieve this in a few different ways. So we provide care and support services to those who are caregivers and those affected. We try to raise awareness of the disease so people are familiar with the warning signs and they're able to get a detection as early as possible. We also provide information on how you can reduce your risk or possibly prevent developing dementia. We also focus on research. We're the largest nonprofit funder of Alzheimer's research. And then we have an advocacy wing where we work with state and federal lawmakers to really try to get as much funding for dementia care and research as possible. So as the state of Michigan, we have offices throughout the entire state. We serve the whole state, even if there isn't an office in your community. And now I'm going to dive into some of the programs and services that we offer. So one of the most beneficial resources we have, I believe, is our 24/7 helpline, and that's 800-272-3900. This is available to anybody who just wants to call to learn more about dementia, want to be connected with resources in their area, sign up for an association program, or if they're really struggling, speak with a master's level clinician so that they can talk with them and work through a situation and create a plan. With our information and referral service, if you call looking for a list of neurologists in your area, we can send you a list of those doctors in your community. This is 100% free, confidential, and available in over 200 languages. And we also have TTY for those who are deaf or who have some sort of hearing loss. And then our helpline email is helplinegmc@alz.org. And that's just great if you want to register for a program or get a list of resources sent to you and you don't necessarily want to have a phone conversation with somebody. Now, while our helpline is a great resource, there are some individuals who do need a little bit more assistance, which is why we have a care consultation program. And with care consultations, a caregiver and the family are able to meet with our care counselors. Currently, this is all done virtually or via telephone. And what you do is you create or complete an assessment together, and then based off that assessment, you create a person-centered plan of care. And the care counselor will help you through whatever situations you're experiencing, connect you to resources in your area, and then they'll continue to follow up with you over a period of a few weeks or a few months. This is completely free, available to anybody in Michigan who has some sort of dementia, and you can refer caregivers to our 24/7 helpline if they're interested in scheduling a care consultation. Now, for education programs, I talk about how we want to raise awareness. So we have programs that focus on the 10 warning signs, the basics of dementia, and prevention. But we also have programs that go a little bit more in depth and that are specifically for caregivers. We know some of the biggest issues are changes in communication as well as behaviors. And so we have programs specifically to help caregivers through these situations. We also have a series for those who have dementia. And we have over 25 programs typically per month that are presented virtually for the entire state of Michigan. And then there are chapters throughout the whole country that do other programs as well. We also have support groups. Most of these are for caregivers. We have close to 60 groups that meet each month in Michigan. Again, these either meet virtually or some are just strictly dial-in for those who would rather just use the telephone. And we do have one group that is for those who are in the early stage of Alzheimer's or who have mild cognitive impairment so that they can have the support they need as well. We also have a Spanish-speaking support group that meets monthly, and we typically do about one education program every month or every other month. And then we all know how important social interaction is, which is why we have our social engagement programs. In these programs, it really just allows people with dementia, regardless of the stage, to attend with their family member or caregiver and connect with others on a similar journey or who have a form of dementia. So we have very fun, interactive, dementia-friendly activities that we do. As you can see in these photos, there's a lot of art projects. And then in the top right photo, we have a partnership with the Henry Ford Museum. So when we're able to go on field trips, they go to Greenfield Village and actually go out to the Henry Ford Museum. We have relationships with the Detroit Institute of Arts, Detroit Symphony Orchestra, Detroit Zoo. We are able to do these things virtually now. So we're able to have concerts virtually, virtual museum tours, all sorts of fun things. And these are available to anybody who is affected by dementia and anyone really not even in the state of Michigan. Other people can join us as well. More information is at alz.org/GMC/virtual. And then we know that those who have a developmental disability are at an increased risk of developing a form of dementia. And this population has different challenges and things they encounter with the diseases of dementia. So we have a specific program for this community. We offer free education programs as well as behavior management consultations. As you can see, we have a broad range of topics from communication to home safety to behaviors. We also have a lot of online tools. So alzconnected.org is an online messaging board, and it's for anybody, whether you're a caregiver, person with dementia, if you speak Spanish, member of the LGBTQ+ community. There are messaging boards for you to communicate with others. You can ask questions, share wisdom, provide encouragement, whatever it may be. A lot of caregivers really like this tool because it's similar to a 24/7 support group. They can get a lot of help, but not necessarily have to sit in a group meeting for an hour and a half if they're not able to find that time. And it's completely monitored by the association as well. AlzheimersNavigator.org allows a caregiver to complete an assessment and then create a person-centered plan of care off of that assessment. If you use the community resource finder, you can find local resources in your area. You just have to type in your zip code and you can find transportation services, care options, Alzheimer's Association programs, whatever you're looking for in your community. And I definitely suggest everybody visit alz.org. This is our website with lots of information, not only about upcoming events, but just anything that you can think of related to dementia, whether it's a person living with dementia, whether you're a professional caregiver, personal caregiver, you want to learn about research, everything is on our website. Now I want to talk about some funding that we have available. We know that Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia are incredibly expensive in terms of care, and it can also take a lot of work for those caregivers, and everybody deserves a break. So that's why we have respite care scholarships available. Thanks to many very generous donors and many grants, we are able to offer these scholarships in these select counties. Anybody in these counties who has a dementia diagnosis is eligible. You can use these scholarships for um, for a friend or family or neighbor and a more informal caregiver, or if you're getting some sort of respite from an outside home care agency, you can also apply these funds to that service. And for Gladwin in the Southeast Michigan area, it's a $1,000 annual scholarship. You do have to apply, but there really aren't any strict eligibility requirements. And then for the UP, the scholarships vary. And if you know anybody who might want to utilize these resources, please refer them to our helpline and they can get an application. Now, we know that 6 in 10 people with Alzheimer's wander at some point throughout the disease. So it's really important to be prepared and have a plan in case that does happen. So this is why we suggest getting some sort of wandering support. So we have a partnership with MedicAlert, and the MedicAlert allows a person with dementia and their caregiver to wear a piece of jewelry that has medical information on it. And should somebody go missing because they've wandered off, MedicAlert creates a search team and makes sure that that person is reunited with their family. If they're found, they have their medical information and name and contact information listed on their piece of jewelry. However, there is a cost for these pieces of jewelry as well as the annual wandering membership fee. So we have a scholarship available. This is available throughout the entire state of Michigan, regardless of county. You just have to have some sort of dementia to qualify. And again, all questions should go directly to our helpline. And there is an application process, but fairly simple. Now, in addition to our research or programs, we also do a lot with research. I mentioned we are the largest nonprofit funder for Alzheimer's research. We are currently funding over 650 studies in 36 countries worldwide. That's $250 million in research. And we also host our annual Alzheimer's Association International Conference. This conference happens in the summer, and researchers from throughout the world come together to present their findings. Last year it was virtual, so I was able to attend, and it was great to see all of the new progress we've been making, including researching a blood test to help diagnose Alzheimer's disease. So that's super hopeful for things to come. Now, research is only really helpful if you have participants. And so we have a tool called Trial Match, which is a free clinical studies matching service, and it just allows researchers to find people for their studies. We are looking for anybody who is interested. You do not have to have a form of dementia. You do not have to be at an increased risk. Anybody really can sign up. We highly encourage you to learn more. You can visit alz.org/trialmatch. Just by signing up, it doesn't mean you're registered for a study. It simply provides you a list of studies that are in your area that you may be eligible for. And to stay up to date on all the latest in dementia research, you can download the Science Hub app through the App Store. Next is advocacy. We know that Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia need to be a top priority. So our advocacy team really just works with state and federal lawmakers to make sure there's attention on this issue and to secure more funding. We work with Alzheimer's Impact Movement, or AIM, which is a separate organization to help us achieve our goals in terms of policy. And we have done a lot with policy in the past years, including passing legislation regarding elder abuse. And in the past 10 years, we have increased our budget 7 times. So now we have $3.1 billion for dementia research in this fiscal year, which is an amazing accomplishment. And we know there's still a lot more work to do. So there are some things that we're working on still. At the state level, we are trying to create a dementia care unit within the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services to make sure we have dementia services for those available at the state level. And alzimpact.org is a great place to go for more information. So how can we do all this? So we are a nonprofit. So one of the biggest ways that we are funded is through donations and our big fundraising events. You may have heard of our Walk to End Alzheimer's. This is the largest event to raise awareness of Alzheimer's care, support, and research. And there are about 600 walks throughout the country, about 25 in Michigan, and there's even a few that happen internationally. Not only is this a fundraiser and a great way to raise money so that we can continue to provide our services, but it's a great way to show support to those affected and to raise awareness. So if you're walking down the street and you see a big walk happening, you're definitely going to gather some attention. So definitely a great way to elevate Alzheimer's disease and get more people to talk about it. Creating a team is completely free. We are planning for an in-person walk this year, fingers crossed. So it's always super fun. So if you're interested in creating a team, possibly even fundraising, you can visit act.alz.org. Another way we can do this is through the Longest Day, another big fundraiser we have with the Longest Day. It happens on the summer solstice, but you can really just pick any activity of your choice and create a fundraiser out of it. It doesn't have to happen on the summer solstice. You can do it throughout the year. Some people do a golf outing, some do a marathon. Right now, there's a young man who's running around all of Lake Michigan and has raised tens of thousands of dollars. So just a great other way to raise money and again, raise awareness. You can learn more at act.alz.org. And just to wrap up, if you're interested in getting involved, the biggest thing you can do is just share our resources. Again, I know many of you work with the older individuals in our community. So just by sharing this information, a great tool. And you don't even have to share it with older individuals. We know that a big chunk of caregivers are younger people. So it's important for them to know where to go so that they can get the resources and the help they need if they are affected by dementia in some way. Walk to End Alzheimer's, The Longest Day are great ways. Again, research, just staying up to date on it. And if you want to participate, those are both great ways to stay involved. And then with advocacy, you don't even have to become an advocacy volunteer, but if you sign up through allsimpact.org, you can send emails to your Congress people, and they are already pre-written emails. It's super easy. And this, again, just raises Alzheimer's to their attention so that we can hopefully accomplish more. So that was just a brief overview of everything we do, compacted into not that much time. So I now want to open it up for any questions that there may be. I believe you can just type them in the chat, and then Valerie, if you can go ahead and read them to me, that would be great. You can also call our 24/7 helpline if you'd rather keep it confidential.
Well, great information. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing any chats, so I will say that if we get anything after our time here, we'll definitely forward them to you, Michelle, and hopefully be able to get the information back. But great information, love it. I learned a lot. A lot of places to connect to. I'm really pleasantly surprised with all the caregiver support because we hear so much of the burnout for them. And Alzheimer's Association is definitely one of my 5 that I am committed to supporting. So I'm very, very excited that we were able to have you join us here tonight, and I'd love to partner with you again for a future presentation, perhaps covering one of the other areas you talked about when we were discussing this opportunity. So thank you again for everything and all your patience with all the technology challenges. I learned something new. This is great. And they're very fortunate to have you, Michelle, because you demonstrate a lot of patience, which is very helpful. So thank you again for being a part of Navigate Home this evening.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. And again, if anyone ever has questions, please reach out to our helpline or reach out to me. And I would love to work together and continue to do that in the future. And thanks for your support with the association too, Valerie, and everybody at Navigate Home.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Take care now.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.